Any updates on Sam?
No, we'll get them looked at tomorrow. What day is it today?
Thursday.
Okay, so Saturday I'll have something for you.
And then just looking at this game, obviously chances are so hard to come by in the series, but your team's ability to use the forecheck to turn that defense and offense, just how much did you like that tonight, and just especially that start for the team?
The start's good. I don't know what the shots were. I looked up at one point toward the end of the first. It was 5-3. So it didn't feel like that to me. Like every puck that goes to the net, you worry about, or you're hopeful maybe at the other end.
Yeah, Paul, with the Bennett line, seemed to be really buzzing out there. Just what did you like about the way that the three of them were tonight?
I thought you saw a really veteran game out of those guys, because a lot of what we gave up in game one, they were on the ice for. As you would understand, that's a really high-end line they're playing against, but they gave up an awful lot on the rush. Mostly out of aggressiveness and trying almost too hard, and they settled their game a bit and let the forechecker be aggressive and kind of read off each other maybe almost a little more relaxed in the game. I know they were going, so it felt like they had pressure, but they actually played a little bit more of a patient game in the first period. I got rewarded for it, but they were very, very good tonight.
Left side up front.
I know you said either this morning or yesterday that you don't, the whole road warrior thing is not something you think about, but I mean, this is now a trend, 22-4 in the last 4 road games goals. I mean, what are you guys doing to sort of take teams immediately out of their games?
If I knew that, I think we're a game over 500 on the road this year. I'd have used it way earlier. Like, I wouldn't have waited for the playoffs. I'd have fired that right out in December. I would say that style of game-wise, that we don't put a great weight on execution and how we feel. So whether it's pretty or not doesn't matter to us, and we don't play much differently at home. It's pretty similar. But last year we were a pretty dominant road team, and this year we were good until about the last month and a half, and then kind of some injuries and stuff. So I don't think that we feel any differently on the road. The intimidation of the road game kind of left our game 15 years ago. You can be a good road team now. I mean, it used to be different going on the road. It has nothing to do with the fans. I think the buildings are louder, the music's louder, the fans are louder, but just the structure of teams, the structure of lines. It used to be, if you got down 2-0 at home, your fourth line didn't even ask if they were going out. They just jumped over the boards, and they didn't bring all their equipment with them. Right? It was on. So it's different now.
Right side, second row.
Paul, do you remember what first inspired putting Verhaeghe, Bennett, and Tkachuk together?
Over the last 2 years, so we would start, and we would have 2 years ago, so 3 full seasons ago, Nick Cousins was left wing and Carter Verhaeghe was left wing, and we would flip them back and forth with Barkov, and it worked every time. And then this year it never worked once, right? Like, I could never find the right timing to flip them back and forth, and it was off all year. Don't know why. But I think Evan Rodriguez kind of has come in last year, and really in his playoffs came into the form of his game, which allows that to be a really good line. But some of it's road match, some of it's home. Carter has become, he is a playoff performer. And if Barkey gets matched hard, then I would pull him off. And then if it's not as hard a match, I don't mind him there either. I don't know is the answer. Like, I was looking for that answer all year. I got it wrong the entire year. First 2 years, I thought I was really smart. Every time I changed it, the lines would take off. I go, man, I'm smart. And this year, I was a dumbass. I don't know that it's changed, but Carter was good tonight. So.
Left side, third row.
Coach, Matthew scored tonight. It was his first goal in 10 games. He said,
really?
He says he doesn't. Well, you kind of answered my question. I was going to ask you: are you aware of skids like this?
It was power play goals
like in Game 3,
the Tampa series. Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you were aware of skids like that, or you don't really pay attention.
I think Lusty's still our leading scorer. That I know, and I don't follow that at all. Truly, I never ever look at the stats. It just doesn't matter. Like, I think that's more from them, from the players. So I don't have anybody who's in a contract year that's changed his game to get points where I start watching where a guy's at. I don't have anybody. They have never had a player come in and there are veiled ways to say you're not happy with who you're playing with. And I've heard them all. Or my favorite one is, I want to help the team more. That means I'm not playing enough. That's exactly what that means. I think I can help the team more. It's through 3 regular seasons, I've never had that happen. They don't care who scores. They really don't. The biggest cheer in the night was Yona Gadjevich blocked a shot in the 3rd period. The bench lost its mind. They cheer for each other differently.
Left side, second row.
Paul, 5-2 in game 1, 5-0 in game 2. Are you a little bit surprised how these games have played out with these two teams?
I get it. This is so much tighter than the score tells you it is. Because every puck that goes to net, they have a really, one of the elite strong side one-timer teams from Burns. The puck goes low to high on an indirect, and that puck comes to net, and every single one of them's dangerous. Every single one. So this is not a flow series. It never will be between these two teams. It's a grind from one end, but it's a fast grind. Like, it's not casual in that, dump a puck and sit back is the exact opposite of what both teams do. They put it deep and they get after it. And this is a Ralph Kruger word, hecticity in the game. It's just hectic. And I'm not, clearly that's not a word, but Ralph used it, and it describes this series and how we play against each other exactly. The change of possessions, and I don't even know if we can measure that, but there's an awful lot of change of possessions when we play each other. It's just because the sticks are so good and they're on the puck and there's no gap. So there's not the comfort level that the final score tells you. You didn't feel it. And it's 4-0. And there are certain styles of game where it's over at 4-0. They're not coming back. But at 4-0, Barkov's going over the bench, off timeouts, off power plays. I'm still running the top end because that's why the offside was so important that got called back, because it's 3-0. But at 3-1 with 29 minutes left, 39 minutes left, you got a problem. So that was a really pivotal moment. And I will not feel comfortable going into game 3, but that's how I live.
Left side up front.
Paul, you've talked in the past about, how when you play at home, you can feed off the energy of the crowd. You're like getting the feedback from the crowd. When you're on the road and you can take an opposing crowd out of the game, they're leaving early. You've done that the last 4 road games. Does that filter down to the team and have a negative effect on the team you're playing?
Well, I mean, we've had some dogs at home. We've had some tough ones, but our crowd's really good to us, I don't think that you necessarily gain anything on the road. You just don't lose anything. So the other team scores, you're on the road, the building gets amped up. Dallas last night, 3-1 game. They scored that thing early, and that building lit up, and now they're skating twice as fast as they did for the first 2 periods. There's a huge advantage to the home team and the emotional. I don't think that the road team participates in that. Like, if it's quiet, we don't know, right? The music's still really loud and they're cheering, so we don't pick up on that. But there can be a real advantage for the home team when they get something good to happen. It lights the crowd up.
Last question, left side, Jameson.
Coach, you talk about the offside being obviously a pivotal moment for you guys. We don't see the video coaches, obviously. They're behind the scenes. Just what can you say about the job those guys do, especially it seems like every year, the last couple of years during these playoff runs, there's always 1 or 2 of those moments that they have.
I think that's true. We have, so one of the advantages that we have is Miles Fee is an assistant coach. Now, he does the video, he does the pre-scouts, but he's also on the ice with every day. So on that one, the program feed that we're getting doesn't show it clearly, and that's a problem. The timeout's basically called because Miles believes it didn't look right. and John Kangemi is the other person in that room, and we go back to the Boston series, the hand pass on that goal that you'd remember. The only thing we had is it didn't look right. And waited, and found the clip at the end. Sometimes we just don't get the video to prove what we feel. So the timeout, you get Miles Fees in there, and he goes, it's got to be an offside. It is, but we can't prove it. So that's the timeout. We get then the blue line camera zoomed in, and we get one more look at it, and then it was pretty clear.
Thanks for your time, Coach.